What is up, farming family? How y'all doing today? Today, we're checking out the Paddletek Tempest Pro 3. That's a lot to say. It's got ice carbon on the face. It's like a sprayed-on grit. They also have their own ST Tempest core, which is like a carbon fiber composite polymer or something like that. That's what it says on their website. If you want to see more about that, you can go to their website. I'm mostly going to focus on how the paddle felt, because that is like the most important thing, to me and probably to most people. But let's get into this. When it came to the power of this paddle, I don't think that it had the power of the Gen 2 raw carbon fiber paddles. Like if you're used to the Carbon 1X, an Element 6, a Rhombus R3 Pulsar, the drives and stuff aren't going to penetrate the far back of the box like it would, with those paddles. But what this paddle does have is a significant amount of pop. I noticed the face isn't nowhere near as forgiving and as soft as the raw carbon fiber paddles. It's because it's a different material. But the paddle is definitely really, really poppy. So if you go to hit the ball, just expect for it to launch off the paddle face quicker than it would with the Gen 2 paddles that you're usually used to playing with. In terms of control, if you're used to a Gen 2 raw carbon fiber paddle, it's going to take you a little bit, to get used to this. I felt like the ball popped off the face with this more than it does with them. It led to me popping the ball up more than I, would like to. So it took me a bit to get used to, because the paddle face is clearly different than all the other ones that I've been recently reviewing, as you all can tell. But the control will be there after you learn how to control it coming off the face quicker than, the Gen 2 paddles do. In terms of spin, I didn't really see a problem with the spin, at all. The spin was there. I got my top spin, serves in. There was enough dip on my drives. There wasn't a problem in terms of spin. The problem is going to be whenever it, starts to wear off, because I'm curious how it's going to wear off. Spray-on grit, or grit in general, wears down over time. It's just how fast is it going to. And with spray-on grits and stuff like that, where you can see visible bumps in it, it has a tendency to wear down quicker than other stuff does. The swing weight is 111 on this, so it's not crazy head heavy or anything. If you have smaller wrists, you should be able to swing it and get it around. It's not going to be anything like the Groove and Movin' 13 or any of those paddles where they're in the 90s. Those paddles are going to feel like feathers when you're swinging them. But this is definitely going to be lighter in terms of swinging than, your other elongated paddles like the Pulsars, the Pickle Series 16 Gen 2 paddles, and stuff like that. Those are all going to be heavier to swing than this paddle will be. Another thing is the overall weight on mine was 7.8 ounces, which also contributes a lot to the, swing weight, because if a paddle's overall going to weigh less, usually the swing weight's going to be a little bit less too. But it also has to do with the materials on, at the head. And it didn't feel like crazy head heavy, but it was pretty average, to be honest. But it's lighter than, your elongated Gen 2 paddles are. The twist weight on this was 5.40, which is rough. Okay, it is not a stable paddle. You could definitely tell that it'd rotate in your hand if you hit near the edges. The sweet spot was very small. This is a paddle you're going to have to put lead tape on. And when you put lead tape on it, it's going to make the swing weight already, it's going to put it up there with the Pulsars and the other elongated paddles. So it's kind of a dilemma. Do you want to make it more head heavy to where, you're going to struggle more at the kitchen? Or do you want a smaller sweet spot and focus strictly on hitting that sweet spot? Because if you don't, you're going to struggle. Okay, the value for your money? Nope. It is $209, okay? I think the grit's going to wear off quicker than, it's definitely not going to last as long as the raw carbon fiber Gen 2 paddles. But I can't say that 100%. It's just $209, and grit like this has a tendency to wear off quick, so I'm skeptical. So for value for your money, I wouldn't recommend it because it's $209. Companies, I wish they would drop them down to at least 180 or 170 pre-codes, and then you all could go to some other reviewer who has a code for them. But $209 is just ridiculous to me for a paddle, especially when I don't think the face is going to last crazy long on. But until next time, stay safe, have a good day. Oh, and if you enjoyed this review, comment down below and, recommend more paddles so I can reach out to companies and see if they'll send them, and I'll do reviews on them. And you can always guarantee I'm going to give you all my blunt, honest opinion. I'm doing these for you all, not for the paddle companies. Sure, they'll send me paddles, but you guys are what makes the channel grow, and you guys are the ones spending money on these paddles, and I don't want you wasting money. Nobody wants to waste money. But drink plenty of water. Peace, y'all.